Let's queer up the worldview. Centrist Polish politician promises LGBTQ plus protections if elected. Polish opposition leader Donald Tusk has promised that if his centrist party is elected, he will introduce several measures to improve the lives of the country's LGBTQ plus community. During a meeting in the northwest town of Pia, Tusk said that his party has 2 bills prepared that would benefit LGBTQ plus Poles. One to make it easier for trans people in Poland to self-identify, and a second to legally recognize same-sex civil partnerships. The civic platform, PO, leader's declaration came after a secondary school senior asked the opposition leader, quote, "What future do you intend to build with your party and coalition partners for people who identify with the acronym LGBT?" End quote. The student added that Poland's current government dehumanizes the community. Tusk acknowledged the query, calling it one of the most dramatic inquiries he frequently hears from young people, before stating that the LGBTQ plus people in Poland are a victimized minority. The existing ad hoc system requires trans people to sue their own parents in order to change their legally acknowledged gender because there is no legislation outlining a precise road for gender recognition. When Tusk's PO party was in power in 2015, Poland's parliament approved a bill to establish a legal process for gender recognition. It was vetoed by conservative President Andrzej Duda, a PIS supporter. It's interesting, talking again about it's youth that are going to their leaders and demanding that they have these rights. And, the wave is sometimes slow and sometimes frustrating, but it's happening. But I think more importantly, where does Poland sit? It sits on the edge of tyranny right now. And, our country and our being resolute in protecting those borders from Russian aggression. Poland is on the front lines, and they're have supported all these Ukrainian refugees, and so it's positive to hear these things happening there, and it's where democracy is thriving.
Analysts who are closely watching this election in Poland. I was reading some stuff, and my gosh, it is just like they're copying Americans. This is basically 2 cults of personality. One leader attacking the other, saying that the current leader attacking the liberal or the more moderate person right now, candidate, is saying that he will sell Poland probably to the Germans. I mean, he speaks German and he's vilified for that. Meanwhile, the centrist guy is not saying that the current leader is gay, but he's pointing out that the current leader is a bachelor that lives with cats. Ooh. I'm a bachelor that lives with cats. But seriously though, this—
You're not helping the argument.
I'm saying the current leader's a closet case.
Got it.
Okay.
We're on the page with you.
But this is a serious election, because you said that they're like on the border of losing democracy. I think you said they're literally on the border of tyranny.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
Russia
absolutely.
sits on their eastern border. They have brought Ukrainians in, and while yes, they have openly welcomed LGBTQ, but honestly, outside of Warsaw and a couple other big cities, a lot of the Ukrainian LGBTQ have sort of gone into the closet again, just so they can survive a little bit. And hey, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. But if conservatives and hardliners win the Polish election, which is in about 3 weeks, it will probably be more backsliding of democracy in one of Eastern Europe's most important democratic states.
I am 1/4 Polish, and allow me to say, dziękuję bardzo, Donald Tusk. That means thank you very much.
And do you have any cats?
No,
just checking.
One thing that I think is important about the opposition leader in Poland, and John, your analysis on the situation of what people are watching in Poland, I think was great. The PO party in Poland's very important. Poland's very important to Europe. Poland's very important to the European Union. But more importantly, they're very important to what is going on in the world democratically and also for LGBT, because they're sitting on the front line. They're on the front line. On one side of them, which is to the west of them, there's a completely different ideology than what sits to them to the right, to the east. And that's not only Russia, that's also China. And India's making decisions, and I think India is going to fall into the Western European column, but they are very important because they sit right in the middle of this ideological battle that's going on for democracy versus tyranny. The other thing that I think is important, Tusk is very important to us because we have watched in multiple ways an opposition leader, a fighter of the opposition of what is going on can make all of the difference. In the 1960s, that's exactly what Martin Luther King was. He was an overwhelming minority voice in America and was successful. Tusk can be that in Poland. Solidarity in the 1970s was an example in Poland that changed Poland from their Soviet mentality. Tusk could be that voice in Poland. And I hope you're loyal to it. We're not completely sure, but I hope you're loyal to it. And we're sitting in America, in LGBTQ community, talking about Poland. And the reason why we're talking about Poland is you're important to us in America because the world is watching what you're doing. And you have two choices. You have the choice to decide, are you going to be Hungary? Are you going to be Russia? Are you going to be former Bolsonaro in Brazil? Are you going to be the governor of Florida? Or are you going to be France and Germany and Spain and Britain and the entire European Union that is pointing fingers at Poland and Hungary and say, no, you're not, even if it means we throw you out? Choose. Be Martin Luther King or be George Wallace. That's the crossroads that Poland is in this election.